Dr. Cheryl here with Total Health with Dr. Cheryl. I've got an important guest today, Nieto, of mindful online workouts. She's going to help us see how movement and exercise is so important in our lives. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you, Dr. Cheryl. It's my pleasure to be here.
Now, everybody has kind of a love-hate experience with exercise. We feel good when we do it. Sometimes we want to do it. Sometimes we don't. What's up with exercise?
What's up with exercise? That's a good question, right? Well, this is one question that a lot of my clients ask me, and it's like, what should I do? What is the best kind of exercise? And I always tell them, whatever you can commit to. I believe that the techniques that I practice, obviously, is the one that is going to yield the best results. But if you don't like it, it's going to be very hard for you to get any results, right? Because you're not going to do it. So if you enjoy doing other things, commit to what you like and stay with it. And as long as it's safe and effective, you don't injure yourself, stay with that.
And what about people who say, I don't have time to exercise? How am I going to fit that in?
Yes, so that's a great question. And this is actually perfect for what I do, because the kind of workouts that I practice and I've been doing for almost 20 years, you only need to exercise less than an hour a week in order to be in shape. So they are very intense, but they're very safe. And in that small amount of time, you can actually get amazing results.
That's fantastic. I've actually done this, and I know the results you get from only exercising about a half hour a day per week. It's fantastic. So you look fit. What's your story about exercise?
Yeah, so I ran into this technique by chance. I was just meeting one of the trainers when I was living in New York City teaching the technique. And as I started as a client, I just trained as a client for 3 months. And after half an hour a week of this intense workout that I almost wanted to give up, I promise you, I saw my body changing so much. After 3 months, I dropped one size. So I went to buy clothes and I was one size less than I was previously. And that was pretty amazing, actually, for a 20-something-year-old. And then my parents were visiting from Spain, where I'm originally from. And my mother noticed that my posture had improved dramatically. So she was wondering what I was doing. And it was just really the exercise. And then the best thing that happened is that my dad usually used to beat me at tennis as a kid. And that was the first time in my life that I actually beat him. So I was losing fat, I was improving my posture, and then I was increasing my athletic performance and improving them to the point where I would beat my dad for the first time, which actually felt really good. So yeah, my body really changed, and I decided this is what I want to do. And I had a nursing background, so that was very helpful.
Oh, great.
Everything else that I did later. Yeah, thank you.
So I like that you can do this kind of strength training exercise and it enhances other sports that you like to do, even if it's just a recreational tennis or, playing pickleball with the friends. This helps your other exercises, huh?
Absolutely. This is what I've learned throughout the years. And I have a dance background myself, so I can relate to that. And when you're doing a particular sport, you need to learn the technique, right? And you need to practice the technique. But if your body is not strong enough to withstand those exercises that you're going to be doing through that sport, is not going to be able to do it correctly and be able to actually go through it, right? So I'm training right now a dancer that is having some issues actually to do her ballet performance. And I know for a fact that being stronger and being more in her core and having a stronger legs, more than the performance of what she's teaching in ballet and learning in ballet, is going to help her withstand those exercises. And it happens with tennis players, with golf players, even with musicians. You'd be surprised. Some musicians actually improve the way that they play because they are actually stronger.
Yes, and I'm all over that. I'm all over about the core and proper posture, because if we don't have that, we have pain in everyday life.
That's right.
It's the best way to get out of pain is to have proper posture and strong core muscles. So
yes, and if you want, go ahead.
Is there some kind of research behind this?
Yeah, so there is actually. There's a couple of things that I've been learning throughout the years. One is, and you might be familiar with her, Amy Cuddy. She has a TED Talk that talks about how posture improves
Yes.
how we feel about ourselves.
Right?
The Wonder Woman, yeah, the Wonder Woman technique, and also the shoulder stuff. And recently, I've been introduced to a book by a social psychologist. His name is Jordan Peterson. And the name of the book is The 12 Rules for Life. And guess what is rule number 1?
What?
Good posture. Good posture. So that's his rule number 1. He thinks that if we don't have good posture, it decreases the way we feel about ourselves and about how others perceive us. So it's so important to stay there and to have good, strong core health. And if you want, I can demonstrate a little bit how to keep that core engagement when you're exercising. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, please show us. Yes, it's so important. And I find that this is something that when we get in the habit of it, it comes naturally and with ease. We don't have to force ourselves into it. In fact, it's a natural way of standing, right? In gravity.
Absolutely. And your body, the more you do it, like at the beginning, you might have to force that posture, right, a little bit in order to accomplish it if you want to be there. But then the exercise builds the strength of the upper back muscles. And naturally, you are just going to be in that good posture position without really having to force anymore. One thing that I would like to just share your audience, and I teach all my clients when they start working with me, is what I call the neutral spine position. And this is usually a distance of a fist between your chin and your chest for most people. So this is where your rear and front muscles are going to be relaxed. So when you're exercising, you want your neck to be here. And then the second part is where your tailbone is. So I always encourage people to just stack their tailbone a little bit and then extend their spine. And just do this movement a couple of times, 3 times, and then find the center of those 2 most contracted and most extending positions. And I don't mean the center measure-wise, but just the center where they feel their core engaged and they'll feel the back protected. So one of the issues that most people during exercise feel is that they're feeling their back, right? So if you keep your core engaged during any exercise that you will be doing, not only you will be working your core, but you will be protecting your back from any excessive pressure. So I think it's a good exercise, positional exercise to always start your exercise. And just one more thing, Dr. Cheryl, I'd like to add, is to let your mouth slightly open and always let the flow of air free in and out constantly without holding your breath, which is what we tend to do when we exercise, okay? So that's your neutral spine position, which I think is super important when you are exercising, and everybody can practice that next time that they are in the gym, right? Or doing any kind of technique that they do.
And yeah, I'm sure it's important before you exercise, but I think it's important anytime you get up to just check and see how your posture is before you walk off or before you do your next activity. Yeah, it's be in gravity in a comfortable way.
And just keep in mind that you can do that either if you're standing, if you're sitting, if you're lying. So you can always lie down, right? Yes. So any position that you are, when I teach my classes, I always remind my clients to come back to that neutral position. Either if we are doing a plank, if we are doing an abdominal curl, no matter what you're doing, you can always remind yourself to come back there. So right now you can be just sitting in front of the computer, right? And be doing a little bit of the tags.
Okay,
and just
so here.
And there. Yes.
Got it. How
Very
about you, viewers? Got it?
Yeah, you're a good student too.
All right. So what are the workouts like?
Yes. So I have the mindful online workouts, which can be on a group setting or can be private. So I have about 7 clients now a week on different days, and they keep adding hours. So I'm very excited. I allow about 5 people on each class, and they are intense but safe. So we go through a process of working legs. I train mostly women, so I focus a lot on hips and legs because we want to exercise that area, followed by the core and the arms. And we just exercise every single muscle of your body, focusing more on compound movements. So it's really big muscle groups as opposed to focusing on the smaller muscle parts, because they are going to build more muscle, which is going to increase your metabolism, and it's going to make you lose fat. So you're not only
about compound movements. That means that we're using sets of muscles that we used in our daily activities, right?
Exactly. And we are also using the major muscle groups, which is the important part, because I want to focus on those muscles to build a strength. They are the ones that are going to build more muscle mass, which is going to increase your metabolism, and that is going to make you lose fat even at rest. So even when you are sleeping, when you have more amount of muscle, you're going to be wasting more calories. Don't we want that? It's like we want to make money when we are sleeping. We want to be losing fat when we are sleeping, right?
Yeah. What woman doesn't want that? You know, to be losing weight while you sleep.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And what's the idea of the intensity of the exercise?
Very good question, actually. So what is being proven is that you can develop also more muscle mass by working to failure. And by failure is the point where your muscles cannot work any harder, meaning you're doing a set, let's say a bicep curl, and you're doing heavy weight under safe conditions, moving very slowly, and you're reaching a point where that biceps is so fatigued that it cannot move any farther. So we are going to a point of failure. We are not only building more strength, but at that point, there's also research that shows that our body is developing some other natural benefits at a mitochondrial level, so more at a cellular level, which you know very good, that also has to do with other functions of our body apart from just the basic strength or the basic how you look and how you lose weight, right? But it's more deeper than that. And that is something that I was...
How long does it take to get to failure? I mean, this is not like 20 minutes, right? Doing an exercise?
Right.
How long?
No, usually you can get to failure if you pick the right weight and the right resistance at about a minute and a half to 2 minutes, sometimes 3. And as long as you're moving it slowly, it's safe enough. Weight doesn't scare me in order to get there.
So 90 seconds to 3 minutes. That's something that I can handle. It's like bite-sized pieces, isn't it?
Yes, and that's why the workouts are short, so 30 minutes to 45 minutes, but they're very intense. So yes, you're working hard, but for a very short period of time, and you don't have to do it every day, right? It's every once or twice a week. We can handle that.
Yeah. Anybody can find 30 minutes once or twice a week, right?
Yes.
And when you get these kind of benefits, you're going to make sure you find that time, right?
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Can you show us a little bit about the mindfulness piece? Why is it important to pay attention when we're moving?
Good question as well. So I'm very big on focusing and facilitating a process where you feel the muscles that we are working on each exercise. So in my experience, moving slowly, it's almost like a strength training yoga style. You're able to move slow, feel the muscles that you're working, and that also develops over time. So that is the neuromuscular connection of your brain with your muscles. You might not feel it at the beginning. As you keep doing it and practicing, you get that connection bigger and bigger. I'm a firm believer that if you're feeling what you're doing, you're going to develop that muscle more. And again, before, like we talked about before, the more you develop your muscle, the higher your metabolism, the more fat you're going to lose. So there's another good reason. And the other reason is because I think that it's important to get into our bodies, because we are so always, bombarded with music and TVs when we're at the gym, and we don't really know what we are doing. We're just moving because we've been told this is good for us. But really, you can only achieve good results when you are inside your body, you're in exercise, and you are connecting with it.
And I believe I've seen research that shows that when you're paying attention to your movement, it has a whole different effect on your body than when you're moving mindlessly.
Yes, and there is research as well that shows that, absolutely. Mindfully, we know, right, how much meditation improves everything in our systems. And I've seen that when my clients develop a certain level of experience, it becomes like a meditation in movement, and it can be applied in that way. So it not only helps with you physically, but it's also helping you manage stress.
Yeah.
Feel good hormones that are going to last longer than just the actual workout time.
Because I know it's something that drives me crazy is when I see people walking with earbuds in, listening to music, or looking on their phone, even walking the dog. It's like they're going through the motions, but they are not even present to what they're doing. That drives me crazy. I'm glad you represent something else. This is, even 30 minutes a week of paying attention to how we move can have a big impact, can't it?
Huge, huge. No, I totally agree with that. I couldn't do it in any other way. I just feel like I work out, you know, when I was younger and I was doing aerobics and steps and all those classes. And yes, I enjoy them. They're fun. And that's great. If you enjoy dancing, it's still beautiful. But again, I come back to this as the basic to anything else that you're going to do, that is going to build this strength in your system, and it's going to strengthen your muscles and your joints in a way that you can do anything else and you can actually withstand it. You're not going to get injured because your muscles and your joints are strong that can go through it without.
That's important, not to get injured by your exercise.
Exactly. Yeah. And it happens often. I'm sure you see that.
Yes, yes. Is there some way that you can help our viewers understand this principle of being mindful during movement?
Sure. I can do a little practice if you want on how to do it, because I think sometimes showing is better than, you know, a million words that I can tell you.
Yeah.
So go back again to the space that I was before. And if you want to do it with me, Dr. Cheryl, and you want to try yourself, please be my guest. So you can do very simple squats, and you don't need much if you're at home or at your office. All you need is a chair. And just remember what we just talked about of that neutral spine position. So distance of a fist between your chin and your chest, and then tucking your tailbone, making sure that you're engaging your core. Always look at your feet, make sure they are distance width apart. And what I'm going to ask you to do is just do 5 squats at your own pace like you will normally do it. So just be careful of just one thing. You want to sit back on the chair, trying not to completely relax. And then as soon as you touch the chair, you can come up again. Good. And you can do whatever you like with your arms. You can go on a little bit of a prayer position, or you can bring your arms forward. It's up to you. So just do 5 squats, always keeping your heels on the floor. And this comes to the question that you were asking before on how to connect with your body. So for example, on a squat, if you press the heels on the floor more than the ball of the feet, you're actually going to connect more with the glutes, which is the muscles that are working here. Those are the ones that we want to focus. Was that 5 for you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. 5 squats. So now what you want to do, same position, but you're going to take 10 seconds sitting back without resting, 10 seconds coming back without resting. And that is a very important point that we didn't talk about much before, but you don't want to rest between repetitions, right? You want to do the movement continue without relaxing until that point where you cannot do anymore. So let's try that. Are you ready?
Yes.
10 seconds. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And without relaxing, coming up. 1. Pressing the heels on the floor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do it again. So one more time. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you are breathing. So remember that last part that I talked about, really keeping your mouth slightly open, letting the flow of air. And then once you touch the chair, come up again, reaching your chest higher, keeping your shoulders open. And then you're just going to relax at the end of this one, and you can shake your legs a little bit if you want. Good. So that's a little experience on how moving really slowly, mindfully, can connect you a lot more with your legs and the muscles that you were working that are going faster. Was that your experience for you?
Yeah, it was amazing how much I was paying attention to the feeling in my body and what muscles were moving and how I could do it slowly and evenly.
Yes.
By slowing it down that much. That's fantastic. Right. And yes. Yeah, I feel like I had to be strong to do that.
Exactly. We are reaching deeper in our muscles when we go to this speed. You're actually using muscle fibers that you don't use when you go faster, because you go a lot more to the superficial part of your muscles when you move at speed. So thank you very much for practicing with me.
Yeah. This is good stuff.
Excellent.
Now, what if our viewers want to start doing this? I mean, should they pick up a book, or I mean, you're there, so. What,
Yes, there's definitely books, and I encourage anybody that is interested to look for high intensity training. Super slow, particularly, is the technique that I studied almost 20 years now ago. But if they want to reach me and they have any more questions, or they want to try one of my mindful online workouts, they can actually go to mindfulonlineworkout.com, mindfulonlineworkouts.com, and they can also click on the book now button and just schedule a complimentary session with me and trial workout and try it out for themselves, see if they like it. I think at least they can get a few tips on what is best for them.
great. I know there's drawbacks to getting a book and trying to follow a book. What do you offer as a personal trainer? What's different?
Yes. So what is different about a book is that for most of us, it's very hard to get the book, get the video, sit in front of it, and actually do it. So the accountability of having somebody that you have an appointment with, that you're going to show up with, and also the fact that I'm going to be very careful on spotting you and making sure that your technique is good. And I'm also going to change slightly your position to make it a little bit more challenging, makes a big difference. I think that's the reason why, you know, most of my clients work with me, and it works for them really well. When they have that appointment, they just show up. For the classes, people get to know each other. They are intense, safe, but also fun. So we get to enjoy being together. And I think that's why people stay very committed to them weekly workouts.
Yeah, that's so important. You can have a technique, but if you don't use it, if you don't do it, it's not going to do you any good, right? And it's always got to be fun.
Yes.
You're fun. I know you. You're fun. And I can imagine a group class is fun too. And yeah, it's so important to have somebody checking to make sure that you're doing the exercise right and that you're doing it completely and to failure, or you know when to stop and not overdo it. It's so important to have a trained eye watching to know when that is. So yes, great. Yes. Again, thanks. Look for online, go to mindfulonlineworkouts, that's plural.com, for Anna Nieto, and she's offering a complimentary 30-minute session so that you can see what training with her is like and what it feels like in your body. All you have to do is click the book now button and put a time on her calendar.
Yes, and I will be there.
She's guaranteed to show up. Yeah, accountability is so important in this world. And yeah, we're getting where we are because of what we do with accountability, right? I know that's true in my life.
And I'll tell you something, it's a part of my business, right? And I've been in this business for long enough that I know it's the struggle in and out, you know, for clients that I've worked with. And I've learned that just having the person that is going to lovingly nag them to schedule their appointment for the next week works. And a lot of people thank you for that, you know, for just being there for them. And I think we all need help in some areas. We are not perfect at everything, right? And I think we need to find the support of the people that are going to hold us accountable and are going to help us with our goals. So that's what I love doing.
Yeah, it's so important to have somebody that's on our side. And like you say, lovingly nag for the next appointment. That's great to have somebody on your side. So I recommend having Anna Nieto on your side if you want online mindful workouts to get strengthened, maybe lose a dress size or so, and not hurt yourself when you're doing other activities, right?
Very important. Very important. So important. Is one of the main things that I've been doing lately. So they're rehabilitating people from shoulder, so common knee issues, hip issues, or just being able to, if you fall, you know, recover much faster. I hear that all the time. You know, I fell the other day, but now I'm able to come up and stand up a lot faster than I did before because I'm stronger now. Exactly. So those are things that happen pretty fast after a little bit of working out intensely.
Yeah. And you said that the research has shown that this kind of workout helps strengthen your bones, right?
Yes. So this was what initially brought my attention to this type of technique, because I had a nursing background. So I studied and I saw that the way this technique started was doing research in women with osteoporosis, 50s and up. And what they noticed is that not only they strengthened their bones and they went from osteoporosis to osteopenia, in some cases it disappeared. And the reason why they move slowly was only because the bones are so sensitive, right? In women with osteoporosis, they were scared of injuries. And that's the reason why this technique started, which I think is so interesting, but so amazing and beautiful. And yes, I've worked with women that were diagnosed with osteopenia and osteoporosis, and after a year or two, without making any major changes in their life, just the exercise, they have gotten amazing results and much better results on their tests.
Well, I think it's fantastic that by working out in this way for 30 minutes a week, you actually have an anti-aging effect on your body.
It does, yeah.
Because aging has to do with losing muscle mass, losing bone mass. And exercise in this way helps rebuild that.
Yeah. And you know as well as the effect of aging and sarcopenia, right? I mean, we start losing muscle. A lot of people don't know this fact, but I find it fascinating that we start losing muscle after the age of 28. And it doesn't get better, right? It's like either we exercise or we just continuously every year keep losing muscle. And the only proven way to actually keep it is by exercising. So to me, sarcopenia is so related to aging. Stronger bodies are going to support you so much more as we get older in so many other ways. So the other fact that I know is that women, I think it's after 60, when they unfortunately break a hip, which is a very common issue as well, their life expectancy decreases by about 80 or 70%. And again, that can be easily preventable by just strengthening your bones, strengthening your joints, strengthening your muscles, and preventing that fracture when it comes.
So I think it's fantastic. We can reverse the bone loss to actually gain bone mass. We can reverse the muscle loss, the sarcopenia, by gaining muscle. Yeah. If we've lost it, so we can gain it. So it's not irreversible, right?
It's not irreversible. We can gain muscle mass. We certainly can. And it's never too late. I mean, I've started people training when they were in their 70s. There was one case, and this is a miraculous case, but I have to share it because it was fantastic. There was a gentleman that was 93 and started training with me at 93. So it's never too late. If you want to, claim your body and your strength, and like you said, prevent aging, strengthening is an excellent way to do it.
Great. Thank you for joining me today, Anna. And again, mindfulonlineworkouts.com. Schedule your free session to find out what this is all about. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much. That was my pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Cheryl.
You're welcome.